Trent Murray for us in Berlin. The action-packed United Nations General Assembly concludes today. In the last week, more than 100 world leaders defied coronavirus fears to meet in person. The session, however, may end without speeches by those in government in Myanmar and Afghanistan. There have been rival claims for Myanmar's UN seat after a military coup ousted the elected government in February of this year. High-level UN diplomat told the news agency AFP that an agreement had been reached between the United States, Russia and China, and that would prevent Myanmar's UN ambassador from speaking. Diplomats say that China, Russia and the US had reached an understanding where Moscow and Beijing will not object to Kwai remaining in Myanmar's UN seat for the moment, as long as he does not speak during the high-level meeting. Kwai was chosen by Myanmar's former leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and he's an outspoken supporter of the democracy movement, refusing the junta's orders to quit. He has retained his seat at the United Nations ever since that coup. Earlier this year, in May, the junta appointed a former general to replace him, but the UN has not approved that appointment yet. The situation on the ground in the country of Myanmar is only worsening. The military launched airstrikes over the weekend after clashes with fighters in the Sangeng region. Phone lines and internet were also severely cut in some districts. Meanwhile, for conflict-ridden Guinea, its representative to the United Nations, Ali Dian, could address the United Nations General Assembly. However, they were appointed by the former president of Guinea, who was deposed in a military coup earlier this month.
Well, Afghanistan will no longer be speaking at the United Nations General Assembly. Today is the last day of the high-level week, and Afghan Republic appointed envoy Ghulam Isaaqzai was expected to speak at the General Assembly. Now, updated schedule shows there is no representation from Afghanistan. We know that development coming in the backdrop of Taliban appointed Foreign Minister sending a letter to the United Nations saying that Sohail Shaheen, the spokesperson, will be Taliban's envoy to the United Nations. The Credential Committee still has to take the decision regarding the representation of Afghanistan. We know that it's just not Afghanistan, but Myanmar also had withdrawn from the list of speakers at the United Nations General Assembly. This, of course, is a concerning development. Both Afghanistan and Myanmar have been facing their own set of crises. Myanmar saw the coup earlier this year, and then, of course, we saw Afghanistan saw a change of guard with Taliban seizing the national capital Kabul on 15th of August. So a lot of developments coming, and today, of course, the last year there are other foreign ministers also expected to speak today. France, UAE, Belarus, these are the list of foreign ministers. In fact, Nepal also will be speaking at the famous green podium. That's a lot of activity last week.